after one. Then Sacramento took off. What were some of the reasons you saw?
I think the third quarter, they came out, we missed some shots, they caught fire and, took the lead, bumped it up after that.
Yeah, you guys scored 17 in that quarter. What happened out there?
Offensively, we just couldn't get it going, and they did. Really good team, really good team. They had our number this year, that's for sure.
Were you seeing any common threads that led to them getting the, 19 threes that they made tonight?
They do a great job of passing the ball, spreading the ball, moving bodies, and when they're knocking down threes like they did tonight, it was just very difficult to guard them.
When you guys have an action that's working offensively, even if it's leading to some missed shots that guys would normally make, as a group, how can you stay disciplined to keep going to it versus trying something else? Recognizing like a good look, even with a miss, can sometimes be better than a different type of look.
That's pretty much our league, though. No one ever sticks to what's working. People want to get cute and try new things, but that's our league has always kind of been like that over the last few years. When I came into the league, it was like if one thing is working, we're gonna milk that until you stop it, and even if you stop it, we may even go back to it. But that's just how the league is now.
Go ahead,
you mentioned mixing up pitches at shoot around. How'd you feel like you guys did that tonight in terms of like switching 2-3 zone, drop, playing up the touch?
We did. We mixed pitches, and they still hit a few of them.
Is there something psychologically? You mentioned that they had your guys' number this year. Is there a moment in the game where it's just like it feels like every time the ball swings to an open guy, he hits a big shot? Is there any weight to that in the out there? That
I think it's the ones is when you stop an offensive team like that and then they get a second chance and they kick out, those are the ones that's kind of demoralizing when you play 24 seconds or whatever the case may be, a great defense and, ball bounces the wrong way and they get an offensive rebound and they hit a three. Those are always the ones that kill you.
Big picture, Golden State Saturday. Do you feel like recently there's been really no let up in these games?
No, we already knew we was like in the gauntlet of our schedule. It started with that, Denver, I believe, at home. And we already knew we had all the teams that was coming in, everybody positioning and jockeying, some of the best teams in the league. I think it was like Denver, Sacramento. Obviously, we played Milwaukee, and so many other teams. OKC, we had them on the list. So, we knew it was a tough stretch for our ball club. But, even with the loss to Denver, even with the loss to, Sac both times, we've still been playing some good ball.
Is there something? Rui, I think, started 8 for 10 and then got just that one corner three in the fourth. I think that was the only shot he took. Are there ways, when you're a complimentary player like that, do you guys need to find him more when he's hot, or are there different things you guys can try to do to maximize that kind of night for him so it's not a situation where he's just taking one shot in the second half?
I mean, obviously, when a guy has it going, you always want to try to find him. But the game is, I don't know, I have to rewatch it and see if there were ways for us to get the ball. But teams make adjustments too. Really good teams make adjustments. If they have guys that, X-factor guys that's got it going, they're able to make adjustments and try to take some of the looks that he was getting away from him. So.
How's your ankle and how are you feeling? I know you're battling sickness a little bit.
My ankle's doing decent. Trying to knock this cold out as fast as possible. We'll see.
Thanks, LJ.
Right. Thank you. In a row, close at the end of one, tied tonight actually. Then the game got away from you. What happened tonight out there?
We had a 17-point quarter. And it came out in the third, and then we had some turnovers early. Capitalized some of them guys made shots. Harrison shot the ball well. They all really did from three. We had a tough shooting night. But I think, the turnovers kind of hurt us, and then offensive rebounding. Anytime they got a rebound, it resulted in a three most of the time. So, it's tough to, it's already tough. They're a good team. And, when we give them second chance points or turn the ball over and give them easy point in transition, it just makes it a lot harder to beat them.
9 offensive rebounds for them tonight, and in the second half particularly, Harrison got loose on a few of them from 3. Was that bad caroms and sometimes the ball's going to bounce the wrong way, or did something about the way they attacked the offensive glass you guys could have boxed out better or whatever?
I have to look at it, but I know one in particular, when the last one that Sabonis got kicked out to Harrison, I was boxing him out and I thought Braun was coming over the top to grab the rebound, but he thought I was going to get it, so neither one of us kind of jumped and he got it, kicked it out to Harrison for 3. But when they shoot a lot of jumpers, it usually results in long rebounds around that free throw line area, and we can't stand and watch. We got to put a body on our body and go get the ball. So I'm not sure on all of them, but I have to go back and look and kind of see, what happened on those.
Anthony, what's your thoughts about playing against DeMontis? We all know that he's a physical player out there, but when you out there battling with him, what is it like, especially in a game like this when he was really, really physical?
He's a physical player. Just try to match his physicality, make him take a lot of tough shots. Nothing, he just hurt us on the glass. Not defensively. We missed a lot of shots. He's only big, so he's going to get a lot of defensive rebounds. But offensively is where we try to limit. Offensively for us, offensively for them, where he getting offensive rebounds. We got to limit that. But he's an all-star. Been an all-star, so he's a good player.
Is there something psychologically? Darvin talked about how you guys were able, because of the schedule, and you're able to put a lot into this game, right? In terms of prep and practice, you had to shoot around. Is there something psychologically frustrating about giving a team that you've struggled with like a real good shot, and then it kind of turning out the way it turned out tonight?
It's frustrating, especially the last 2 games. We have a terrible second quarter at our place, and that was the game right there, turning point for the game tonight. I think it might have been third quarter, 17 points. So just came out of halftime, couldn't put the ball in the basket, and then tough turnovers, especially to start the third. Got some easy looks, so to be down 4, and I think it went to like 12, something like that, pretty quickly. So just got to come out of half ready to go. We all struggled from the field. Me, Brian Dietlow, particularly me, eating shots around the basket, especially in the first half. But fall back and then hit another big 3. And when you're down, like I said, when you don't want to give a team like this any more extra points. They want to score the basketball. But when we give the extra points off offense and rebound and turnovers, it's a lot tougher just to beat them.
Do you see any trends with the defensive breakdowns that led to their threes? Some of them, they had some wide open ones.
I think it was miscommunication. I know some. We were over-helping, trying to help, and, they're a drive-kick team. They can't get to the paint. They try to spray out to their shooters. They did a good job of making shots tonight. I think we did a good job of protecting the paint. It was just the outside shots that beat us tonight. So, trying to help our guys, obviously, guarding De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk. They couldn't get downhill. So, trying to help them, help our guys, protect them from getting downhill, and they did a good job of spraying out.
Last 2.
AD, generally speaking, when you and LeBron are healthy and you guys have really going to a game with Brad, you've been able to get wins this year, even against most of the best teams in the league, maybe with the exception of Denver. Is there any additional frustration or cause for concern by having a game like this against a team that you feel like you could beat, and when you don't?
Any loss is frustrating. Like I said, especially when you allow a team to beat you because of your mistakes. Like I said, our turnovers, offensive rebounds, things like that, miscues on defense, communication on defense is, we allow a team to beat us, instead of playing the right way, and if they make shots and they beat us, hats off to them, but, we can't allow a team to beat us, and because you don't know what works, so I think any loss like that is definitely frustrating.
Thanks, Eddie.
D'Angelo, first of all, just defensively, where did you feel like Sacramento was able to get to a lot of their shots? I think they ended up hitting 19 threes. And how did you see that go on throughout the game?
Everywhere. Like you said, 19 threes. They ran their offense to perfection. Just another one of the teams in the NBA that, they execute, so they make you work.
D'Lo, I think Rui had 18 points, 8 of 10 shooting in the first half. He only wound up taking that corner three in the second half. Do you feel like you guys could have done more? I know you haven't rewatched the film, but you guys could have done more to keep him more involved or get him more involved, or did Sacramento make an adjustment that made that more challenging?
Yeah, I'd rather not go there with it. It's a good game from Rui.
Dave.
Yeah, it was a 4-point game at halftime. Early in the third, a couple team turnovers. I think they pushed up to 12 in the first, 2.5 minutes of the third, maybe. When that's occurring, as a group, have you guys learned anything about that you can apply to trying to stop a run in the future? I mean, it's another NBA team, of course, but this Sacramento team in particular, I guess the last 2 wins have been from a huge quarter against you guys. You guys played them relatively close the rest of the way.
What's the question?
Have you guys learned anything about what you can do to try to turn off a spigot for a team?
No, they swept us all year, so maybe if we play them again, we'll figure it out.
And just follow up on you, atypical shooting night for you. What did you make of your offensive night?
Tough night for me.
Kobe.
Knowing what was at stake, obviously their team just right above you guys in the standing, a couple of spots ahead of you guys staying. Knowing what's at stake coming into tonight, does that make this even more frustrating, or just more frustrating?
I didn't know what was at stake.
They were two games ahead of you guys in the standings. Obviously, they already won the season series, but now they're 3 games ahead, and you guys are, I think, 3 behind for 7th now.
I mean, now I know what's at stake, what was at stake, but yeah, no, I didn't switch anything up knowing that now.
Jovan.
What did you see in the fourth when you guys went on that run that kind of shifted things, that you were able to kind of figure it out for like 8 minutes there?
I don't even recall the run, to be honest. Like, for real, I don't recall the run at all. What did we cut it to, 12 or 10 or something? I think we just got a few layups, maybe a few stops. We were struggling to get layups and stops all game, so I think that's probably what you're talking about, but I really don't recall at all.
Last question.
You mentioned they swept you this season, 04, and if I'm correct, also eight out of the last 9. What is it that makes it so hard for you guys to win over Sacramento?
I think Mike Brown. Honestly, I know how good of a coach he is. I know what he's done to that team. I know where they were before he got there, and they are where they are now. I think, obviously, they have players that are more than capable, but the system that he's put around those guys, everybody's involved, I would say, and everybody's lethal, and I know his style, so I know it's what they do is him, so for sure.
Cool. Thank you.
Austin, generally speaking, this season, when you guys have been relatively healthy and approached a game, with proper rest and health and such, you've been able to beat most of the good teams in the league. Where's the frustration level about not just this game, but going back to last week against Sacramento and losing both of those?
Those are both 2 big games. Obviously against a really good opponent that, we had an opportunity, this past, week and a half to, climb the standings, and they're a team that's, right ahead of us by a couple games or a little larger now. So those are missed opportunities, but it's in the past.
When you proceed from this now and just kind of, you can't do anything about the standings in terms of with this team, how does that sense of urgency take up, I guess, compared to last season when you guys were in a familiar place and now you're kind of scratching and clawing, trying to get out of that 9-10 spot?
Yeah, you just got to buckle down and take every game as a must win. And, yeah, basically just approach it like that, and go put our best foot forward and try to win every game we play.
Austin, they made 19 threes. I believe they hit 46% of their threes. Just were you seeing any common threads and the breakdowns that led to those shots?
Yeah, I mean, they got guys that can really shoot the ball. And Harrison Barnes goes 7 for 11. Keegan Murray goes 5 for 10. And I mean, there's multiple probably breakdowns that we had where we gave up one, but one that stands out to me was I messed up one with probably 5 minutes left in the fourth. And Keegan Murray got a wide open three, or it was either Keegan Murray or Harrison Barnes got a wide open three on the right wing, and it was totally my fault, but. Like I said, this game's in the past now.
Austin, you guys are 5 games over 500. This is one night, like you guys, the vibes were excellent on Sunday. But I guess what is like sort of an appropriate level of concern after a performance like this? How quickly do you flush it? And how quickly do you look at this stuff and say we really need to zero in on X, Y, and Z?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing we can do about this game now besides watch and learn, from our mistakes and what we can do to be better, especially in that third quarter, 17 points. Something had to get stagnant with our offense. But I don't think the vibe, in the locker rooms really, change, Yeah, it's not like we, hate each other now. I mean, as you flip the page, and like I said, you got to figure out what we got to do to, be successful moving forward. And like I said, that's in the past.
Last one.
You started the game phenomenally. I think you had 13 of the first 15 points of the team, high percentage. What happened in the rest of the game? Did they make it very hard on you? Did something mentally in you change? You didn't finish, or you didn't continue with the same success that you started?
I'm not someone that's going to go out and shoot every ball. I try to play the game the right way. And early in the game, the shots was there for me, and I made them. I went 10 for 17 from the field. That's not – I don't think that's bad. So I don't really know really what you're asking or kind of implying after, the quick start. But, we lost, and that's all that matters.
Thanks, Austin.
Thank you.
Memento and the day off and Sacramento on a back-to-back. Were you disappointed with the game tonight, or where did you see things shift execution-wise?
One of the things I just told them, we can't skip details. We had some guys didn't shoot the ball well. Got great looks they normally make, but just in the sense of team basketball, just continuing to have a next play mentality. You turn the ball over, or it's a quick shot, or our shot selection is a little bit off. You have to recalibrate and try to play the right way, and again, do it as a unit, not just individually trying to get yourself going. If you're trying to get yourself going and we're staying organized within what we're supposed to be doing, then great. But we can't skip the details, just the normal habits defensively, starting with transition defense, making sure we get in position. Turnovers got a little bit best of us in the second half. I have to go back and watch the game, obviously, but just, again, the details, you're in their building, they're rocking and rolling. They put themselves in a position to come in with a lot of energy the way they played in Milwaukee yesterday. So couldn't rely on them to be fatigued. And with us just, imposing our will consistently. giving multiple efforts, and that next play mentality. We've been doing a phenomenal job against some really good ball clubs in those two areas, giving multiple efforts, doing the little things, and having a next play mentality, good, bad, or indifferent, no matter what happens on the basketball floor.
And were you expecting to see that, like what you were just talking about, the multiple efforts in a game like this? And is that part?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. They understand what's on the line in terms of trying to secure a position in the postseason. We're in the same boat, and they're playing like a hungry ball club. We've been playing like an extremely hungry ball club. But you're going to have nights where things don't go your way. Where shots don't go in. You have to find other ways to impact the game. But again, without looking at the film, just feel like it's a lot of little things that we didn't do as a unit.
Coach Ham, you just mentioned the turnovers. You guys had 14 turnovers, but the Kings had 11 steals. What did you see anything in that as far as the ball handling?
You got to do things in rhythm. You got to. We talk about running habits, our pace, setting good screens, touching the ball with the paint, and passing on time on target. It's as simple as that. If you hold it for 2, 3, 4 extra seconds, or take 2, 3, 4 extra dribbles, now you're just increasing not accuracy, but you're just proving or allowing the defense to be that much more dictative, if that makes sense. The slower, the slower you play, or you're not getting in and out of actions. That just a team like that plays with so much energy on both sides of the ball. You got to make the right play when it's right there in front of you, and it's simple. It's just doing your work early.
LeBron, AD, and D'Lo, I think, combined to start the game 8 for 32. When I guess in that sample size, I think it was for the first 3 quarters. What were you seeing out of their looks as a group? Do you think it was shots that they normally made? And when that does happen, do you lean even more into Rui and AR, who had it going, or you had to kind of keep going to those guys because they?
It's a little bit of both, Dave. It's a little bit of both. You got one guy that's, both of those guys are first ballot Hall of Famers. So, obviously Rui and AR did have it going. You try to call their number. You try to get D'Lo going. D'Lo's been, tearing it up over the last month and a half, 2 months, whatever it is. Then you have Bron and AD, who, definitely you want them to be in the thick of things and getting touches, because not only do they score, they play make, and they draw a lot of double teams and triple teams. So it's just a little bit of all of that, man. We'll go back. We've been doing a great job of bouncing back from some devastating losses and getting this bad feeling and bad taste out of our mouth, and we'll do the same. We'll do the same with this game, extract what we can from it, learn from it, and get ready for the Warriors on Saturday.
Darvin, you talked about pregame mixing up coverages, and you guys did that tonight with some switching and playing up to touch and 2-3 zone and stuff. Felt like the initial wave was kind of successful, and then the backline rotations were where the breakdowns were, and that's where they'd get the open threes. What did you see within that? Obviously, not having rewatched the film yet, but just kind of the way that they got some of their 19 threes tonight.
Well, we load to the ball, we shift to the ball, and again, we keep saying it, multiple efforts. Once you may have to stop 3 or 4 actions with this team, and increasingly more and more and more teams are playing this style of basketball. So I wish I could tell Mike Brown, please come down to when you play offense, just let us know what you're going to run in so we can, stop it and not have to, give second and third efforts. But that's not the case. So you got to be ready for a little bit of everything. It's not always going to be perfect, but you still got to pour energy and effort into what you're doing. And just, again, refocus and not leave your teammates hanging. You got to, the AD goes to block a shot, we got to have somebody there gathering the rebound. Brown runs somebody off the three-point line, Lowe does something, AR, Rui, whoever it is, they're making efforts to get guys under control. We got to make sure we have each other's back. And again, we've been doing a phenomenal job of that. So we just got to get back to it, just one little step backwards that we'll learn from and extract the good and look at the bad and try not to be as bad at the bad and even better at the good.
Darvin, two for you. What did you think of the physicality Sabonis played with against AD, and how does he need to respond to that? And then with LeBron, I mean, you mentioned turnovers. I think he had 3 in the third quarter, including a couple right away. How big were those, do you think, in terms of just kind of you guys not getting into the kind of rhythm you wanted to be in?
I mean, I'll deal with the second question first. You know, you have turnovers. They thrive off stuff like that. You know, they get runouts, they get dunks, they get threes, open threes. You're playing catch up. When it's live ball turnovers, you know, it's that's a hard thing to deal with. And then just the physicality. That's just who DeMontis is. That's just who he is, man. That's just how he plays. And so, and I know it's not so much him being frustrated with the physicality of that matchup as it is him wishing he had a bunch of those shots back. You know, the shots that, again, he normally makes. And for whatever reason, guys have nights like that where, you know, you're getting good looks and I saw a bunch of them rim out. And you just got to fight that frustration, man. You got to fight that frustration, try to refocus, and make the next one, again, a next play mentality. But, you know, they're a hell of a team. Tip your cap to them. We'll, again, go back and watch the film and see where we can get better, both individually, all of us, coaches, players, how we can all get better from this experience.
Coach, you've been 0 for 4 against them this season, and if I remember correctly, 8 losses out of the last 9 games against them. What is it that makes it so hard for you guys to win against Sacramento?
You know, they're a team that plays fast. They're a team that has a lot of shooting. They're a team that got guys that they you know, think they're top 5, number 2 to be exact, and passes per possession in the half court. So their style is built off ball movement, and you know the ball very rarely sticks. And then when they do need a bucket, you got 3 different guys that can generate that, from Fox, Monk, Sabonis, even Keegan Murray. Tonight, you know, Harrison Barnes had the hot hand. He threw in 7 threes. So, and then when you add that, you know, and Harrison Barnes, he's been a hell of a player in this league, but when you get that type of production from one of your rotational players, that just adds more fuel to the fire. So they're a team that forces you to play through the clock defensively, the entire clock. So there'll be some stuff to look at, again, that we can get better from and try to see the good things that we did out there and try to sustain those.
Going back to AD and the physicality with Sabonis, just how much do you see the physicality he's taking defensively impact maybe he's able to give offensively in terms of saying, you know, some of those shots that usually would make, you know, aren't going in, but do you see like a relationship between those two things?
I mean, I don't want to, you know, belittle Sabonis. He's a hell of a player, but I've seen A make those shots plenty of times, and you know, I think he's physical, but you have bad shooting nights. I mean, just like low wasn't hitting the marks that he usually hits. He wasn't there tonight, but I mean, the kid's a hell of a player, but I know who I'm coaching too. This guy's a hell of a player as well, first ballot Hall of Famer, so he'll bounce back, I'm sure.